Let's make a beautiful ankara dress for a 2-year-old. It's simple, quick, and beginner friendly. So firstly, I brought out my fabric and the tools I'll be using while cutting. I just measured out 8 inches on the side, and then I marked out the starting point, which is the shoulder line. So I just marked that out, and then for the length of the upper bodice, I marked out 12 inches, even though I still reduced it later on, but just so to have more room, I marked 12 inches. And for the shoulder, I marked 4.5 inches, and then the armhole depth, I marked 4.5 inches. For the bodice, I marked 6.5 inches, and then I just rolled it out with my ruler. So I pinned it down so it doesn't move, and then I just cut it out. Making dresses for little kids sometimes is not as easy as it seems, because most of their measurements are actually very small. So you just have to maneuver your way around it. So the first part I cut was the back piece, and now this is the front piece. So from the style, the front has buttons or press buttons. So that is why the front has the zipper allowance, even though it was not zip I used. So for the back, I just marked 2 inches as the neck width, and then 0.75 as the neck depth. So I just put the front and the back together and I cut it out. So for the front, I went down by 1/2 inch because the neckline has a collar, so that's why I didn't go down too much. So I just cut out 1/2 inch. So after that, I decided to cut out the sleeve. So I just used my freehand to cut it. And then for the depth, I cut out 6 inches. And I just used my freehand because it's a puff sleeve, and I also added 1 inch extra for the folding allowance. Then I just cut it out. So after that, I cut out the second sleeve using the first one. So after that, I cut the gathers, and I just marked 15 inches for the gathers. Whatever measurement I know will be enough, that is what I just cut out. So I cut out 2 different pieces, and together it gave me about 27 inches, even though I didn't use all of it, but I was glad I had more than enough. So after cutting all the pieces, I cut the lining for the front and the back to give it more structure, and that's all for the cutting. So after sewing it, I realized I did not show the cutting of the collar. So after sewing the dress, I decided to just do a short tutorial on that. So you can see I used press buttons for the front, so that was how the front was, and then the collar, I also ironed stay on it to make it more structured. So this was the pattern I used. The neckline was about 11 inches, So I used a pattern paper, and that side was supposed to be on fold. The measurement was 5.5 inches, and then I add an extra half inch for stitching allowance. The length of the collar was about 3.25 years. I didn't show the tutorial for the belt. I hope that one is straight. I believe that one is straightforward enough. And so for the bottom part of the dress, I made it into pleats. And then the length of the dress is about 25 inches. With the remaining fabric, I made this cute purse, or I call it a bag, for her. If you're interested in seeing the tutorial, just let me know in the comment section. And I'll just end this video by saying, don't be afraid to start small. Every designer wants to make their first dress, so every project is a reminder that creativity grows when you give it time.